To the shock of myself, a few others, and the delight of Sonic fans everywhere, Sega's Fearless, the Year of Shadow campaign was an undeniable success. Yippee! After years of whining about Sonic the Hedgehog Online, I finally reached a point where I have nothing but positive things to say. I've been called it all. A hater, jaded, a tryhard, but in all actuality, all I am is a man who takes his special interest a little too seriously. All of my criticisms about this franchise come from a place of love. There was a point where Sonic Media was hitting the mark for me, and it's not news to anyone Sega barely did the series justice this past decade. I loved Sonic Mania, my Shayla. Forces, we all know the deal with Forces. Team Sonic Racing was also a total bust, and it just continued to go downhill from there. Sonic Colors Ultimate was a train wreck of a remaster, and then Frontiers left me so dissatisfied I didn't even give Superstars a chance. In my Frontiers review, I very plainly stated I gave up hope on Sega delivering another worthwhile Sonic experience, and for a while I took my leave, packed it up, and went outside to touch grass. When Sega announced Sonic X Shadow Generations, I was still very skeptical about new Sonic games. Sonic Generations is easily among my top 5 favorite video games of all time, and I didn't want to see it butchered like Colors was. I also wasn't very impressed by the gameplay footage Sega provided for the new Shadow Generations expansion. It was reminiscent of Forces and Frontiers, which I'm good on more of. It actually took me seeing IGN rate Sonic X Shadow Generations a 9 out of 10 to decide it was worth giving a chance, and I'm happy to say I was not disappointed. As a matter of fact, this is the first time in a long time a new Sonic game has left me feeling satisfied and grateful to have remained a fan for so long. For starters, the Sonic Generations remaster is genuinely great. The new content that was added to that game are Chow that can be found scattered across both acts of all 9 stages. It's nothing too crazy, but I do enjoy seeing these guys chilling in white space after being rescued. They're so cute. Thank you, Sonic team. The drop dash was also added to both Sonic's movesets, and it feels right at home here, although it works better for classic than modern. As for the old remastered content, Sonic Generations has never played as well as it does here. This graphical update is a godsend. This game looks great and runs so smoothly. I have no complaints aside from the issues I had with Generations when it first released back in 2011. Nice job! This standard of quality is what I wanted from Sonic Colors Ultimate, and I'm not going to complain too much now that we've finally gotten here. Okay, it's time for the big one. Shadow Generations. From what I've seen online, a lot of people love the story of Shadow Generations, and while I don't think I enjoyed it to the same extent, I'll still admit I had fun with it. Granted, Sonic Generations barely had a story, so if you were expecting some Shakespearean tragedy for the expansion, just know the bar you've set is way out of orbit. Regardless, the right effort was made, and so I'm still satisfied. When it comes to the gameplay, this is easily the best boost game we've gotten since Sonic Generations. I understand that's not saying much considering this game's competition, but like I said before, this is the standard of quality I've wanted from Sonic for years, so I won't complain now that the series has gotten here. It feels natural and intuitive moving through these environments as Shadow. Again, this game is built on the same framework as Sonic Forces and Sonic Frontiers, and yet that awkward feel of those games is nowhere to be found. This is how it should feel moving around at the speed of sound. Chaos Control and Shadow's Chaos Spear are very well implemented into his gameplay kit. Stages are designed in a manner that encourages the use of these tools, only rarely forcing them onto the player. 10 out of 10 Sonic Team, 10 out of 10 Sega. I also adore the locations and bosses that were chosen to showcase Shadow's history. Space Colony Arc is a fantastic and fitting opening stage, and the fact that you play through it before entering into white space makes it that much cooler. Kingdom Valley is the best Sonic stage of all time. I felt that way when I played through it initially in Sonic 06, and still feel that way years later. Seeing this locale remade for a Generations game is a dream come true. I remember when Sonic Generations initially released, I was literally praying they'd release DLC remaking other Sonic levels, and Kingdom Valley was at the top of my list. I didn't want to play through Crisis City. Crisis City is easily the worst Act 2 in Sonic Generations. Conversely, Kingdom Valley Act 1 is by far my favorite stage in the entirety of Sonic X Shadow Generations, and I'm happy to know others feel the same way. Sunset Heights. Man, did this level suck in Sonic Forces. I remember so many people, myself included, arguing that the level was some kind of tutorial based on footage uploaded before Forces released. Needless to say, we were all shocked when we finally got to play the game and it wasn't the first, second, or third stage, but the 15th. Damn. Nonetheless, I still think Sunset Heights is a great locale, and it makes me happy to see new life being breathed into it for Shadow Generations. Massive W's. The bosses are great, easily the best iterations of all these encounters, and I love replaying through every single one. This battle against Metal Overlord is my favorite Sonic boss of all time, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Now, I could keep glazing, talk about how great these remixes are, and even go in depth with Shadow Generations Open Zone, but this video is long enough. Sonic X Shadow Generations is worth every penny I paid for it, and it gets a coveted 2 thumbs up from me. It's a great time to be alive.
One more thing I learned is that when you really screw something up, you can't fix it on your own. Go fast.
Don't tell me you've got a catchphrase.
That's right, new Hedgehog, and everyone loves it.
Live and learn! If you beg or if you borrow, live and learn, you may never find your way. Oh yeah! Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is easily the best of the entire trilogy, and I'm so glad these movies finally found their footing. Sonic 1, kinda mid. Sonic 2, a little less mid, but still kinda mid. Sonic 3, oh, it might as well be a panacea the way it's revitalized my spirit. I can't even find the words to describe how it felt seeing Sonic Adventure 2 on the silver screen. Oh wait, yeah I can. It ruled harder than a justice at the Supreme Court. I really have no issues with this movie aside from Sonic being a PG-13 Deadpool. This version of the character is still my least favorite part of these films, but I feel like he made real strides towards the end of this one, so I'm curious to see how he's portrayed in Sonic 4. The characters all looked great, Shadow especially, and Jim Carrey killed it as the Robotniks. I also didn't mind Tom and Maddie's involvement in this movie. As a matter of fact, this is the best use of the human characters throughout the entire trilogy. They didn't overstay their welcome and were wholly relevant to the film's plot. For the first time in a long time, I'm happy to say Sonic's in a really good place, and I'm curious to see what direction Sega takes the series moving forward. I still think content-wise, Sonic's gonna remain on the back burner for me, just for the sake of my exploring other creative outlets, but I don't mind making small videos like this one, checking in here and there. Anyway, that's all for today, y'all. Be sure to leave a rating, comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe so you don't miss out on all things cryptic. I'll see you all next time. Take care.